You may have told yourself Instagram is saturated. There's so many people on there doing it. I don't know if it's really worth it for my business to be able to grow and stand out when there's all these big companies doing it and people are advertising and I'm not an influencer and I don't look like this and my content isn't that. And whatever other story that you're telling yourself, there is a lot of room to make big coin on Instagram specifically, which is the focus on this episode. In under 14 days, I have already grown my Instagram in 2025 by 800%. This is the highest growth surge that I've had in a long time. And I'm going to share with you the exact blueprint that I use, because I don't share anything with you unless I've proven that it works and it's replicatable in other people's businesses, regardless of the industry, regardless if you're a service-based business or a product-based business. And I've already implemented this with private clients and large corporate clients that I have with my other business. And let me tell you, the shit is off the rocker with what is happening. So we're going to regroup, get your Instagram growing and flowing in profits, baby, because that's what we're focused on in 2025. Not the vanity metrics, not marketing math of revenue. I'm talking after taxes, after credit card fees, after inventory, straight up hard stacking cash. What up, my people, my posse, my fellow crazies? It's your host, Tiffany Carter, and this is the show that is going to help you grow your business, your bank account, that big, beautiful brain of yours, your relationships, your mindset, your abundance, and everything in between. Let's start out with some stats and facts that are going to delight you, okay? Nearly 50% of Instagram users make a purchase after seeing a product on that platform. This is proving that businesses are still turning content into cash every single day. 70% of people discover new products and services from Instagram. So you know how businesses will ask, where did you hear from us? You know, did you get referred or did you see us on this platform or that platform? Like, how did you find out that we exist? And this, my business is included. 70% of people are still coming from this platform in all different industries. Now, this is the math that is going to get your panties wet. And if that offended you and you don't wear panties or you hate that word, I don't know what to tell you. You're listening to the wrong show. Okay. I get very excited when I research for episodes and the stats are statin. Okay. Get this. Market size and growth. The global online coaching market, so specifically if you coach people on something, was valued at approximately $3.2 billion in 2022. Get ready. It's projected to reach 11.7 billion by 2032, growing at a compounded annual growth rate of 14%. This is unheard of. This is wildness. This is why you have got to stop toe dipping on your business, whether it's a personal brand. You need to monetize your gifts, passions, talents, skills online and stop messing around and make sure that you are going all in on it. It's not always going to be this way, people. And I've shared this in other episodes. I truly believe there is about like a year and a half, 2 years. It's like this sweet spot where you're going to be able to cash in much faster. I'm not saying you won't be able to do it after that, but why not go for the sweet spot when it's here? Because if you knew for a fact that if you followed the proven strategy and steps and you made yourself do it and you got out of your damn way and you did the thing and you learned it from someone that you trusted and that your success would be inevitable as long as you were patient, as long as you had faith, as long as you followed through, you would be able to significantly increase your profits in your business. You would be able to start from zero and get to $25,000 months. You would be able to be at $25,000 months and get to $100,000 months and beyond. Would you do anything possible, you know, aside from like tearing off an arm or injuring somebody, to make sure that you got that information and had the accountability to implement it? Answer it for yourself. Because you would be nuts not to, right? It wouldn't even make sense. Someone is handing you the keys to the cash kingdom online, and not like in a fantasy marketing way. You've got to follow through and do the things, but you're getting the keys and the proven way, and all you have to do is show up. If I had someone that I knew in like emphatically knew and they had the receipts and I liked their style and I trusted them and I had that when I started Project Me with Tiffany Carter, even in 2018 when I started this podcast, you best believe my credit card would come out real quick. And when you keep hearing these numbers, you're going to have your mind blown. And you want the way, you want the holy grail way to where you're going to stop messing around. You're doing the thing. It is happening. And you are setting yourself up to have those high cash months where it's consistent. It's not just one hot month. There's an actual strategy to it. You actually know how to attract consistently people who are ideal clients, who are strangers, who are coming in and buying from you on repeat. Because, fun fact, the last people in line that are going to buy from you or value what you have to offer, which is really sad, but it's your friends and family. Okay. So, yes, they're going to like your content. They're going to view your stuff. You know, if they're great supporters, they'll even shout you out, show up to your live trainings, and they're the last in line to buy from you. This is why I don't teach you to go after that stuff. That doesn't work. That's insane. There's plenty of people out there who want what you have. And it doesn't matter that there's a lot of people who are also realtors in Los Angeles, who also help people with their money mindset, who do trauma healing with people, who have a jewelry store, who do permanent makeup. There's a lot of people who do a lot of things. Okay. Like, look around. We have people doing a lot of things everywhere, but they're not you, right? Like, what I do, there's other people that are business strategists that show people how to make money online and generate revenue streams online and passive income and do all of this, but they're not me in the way that I teach, in the way that I coach. They don't have the same receipts as me, but there's always going to be someone who makes more money than you, has more testimonials than you, has been doing it longer than you, has more followers than you. That doesn't matter. What matters is the connection that you develop with your ideal client and that they trust you to get them to where they want to go. So let me read you these stats. The online education market. So I'm talking like courses, ebooks, trainings, virtual workshops in any category. All right. This market for online education is expected to generate $203.8 billion in revenue by 2025, this year, with an anticipated annual growth rate of 8.2% from 2025 to 2029. So by 2029, we'll be at $279 billion just in the online education course creation market. And let's just go level deeper, because I know how your brain works. You're my fellow crazies, and your brain tells you, yeah, but I'm not good at tech, TIFF. And yeah, like my business has been stagnant at this level and I'm not seeing it. Well, yeah, but my niche and my specialty is different. And whatever bullshit you're telling yourself, stop telling yourself that story. It's just not true. So I'm feeding you with facts and stats because your ego can't really argue with actual clear stuff. In the US market alone, and I've got to tell you, I would have to say 95% of businesses around the world, especially if you're online, you should be going after people in the US, okay? We're consumers over here. In the US, the online education sector is projected to grow 9.65%. Okay, so this is much bigger than the global projection between 2025 and 2029. So just in the US alone, $144 billion by 2029. Remember, the global number I gave you was $279 billion by 2029. So now you see why I'm saying you want to go after the Americans, all right? Like, however you feel about us, my guess is you don't hate us too much if you're listening to the show, or maybe you just tolerate me, and that's why we have a top show in 57 countries. I am take that very seriously. There's something about my tone and my voice, my personality that you trust and you resonate with, and that doesn't give you a cringy rash that I presume many American influencers, public figures, motivational speakers tend to do. So you want to know the exact how, and you want it customized, and you want to shave off the most time, and you want to go there, and you are willing to invest in that. You are willing to make a business investment in order for you to make all that back. Like, tell me this. Would you invest $15,000 knowing you are setting yourself up to make at a minimum between $25,000 and $27,000 a month at a minimum and consistently? That would be crazy for you not to. That's a no-brainer, right? There's a reason why I rarely open my exclusive 2-month private business coaching program, and I only take 4 people at a time at this level, because it ends up being a no-brainer. It makes so much sense. This is why I have 3 coaches. When you hire the right people who have the receipts, who make you feel safe and supported and are going to serve it to you straight and are going to help hold you accountable, and you're going to do the things. If you really want what you say you're wanting, why wouldn't you hire someone and spend the time, energy, and money to get there? Because the cost of not doing it is insanely high. You're not going to get there. And to think you're going to get there toe dipping and doing it on your own, you've lost your mind. And I've lost my mind many times too. My application is in the show notes. You can swipe up to access it. Okay. It's also in the description here on YouTube at ProjectME TV, which we're going through a major glow up on YouTube right now. So it'll be going through some iterations. I'm very, very excited about this for all of you guys, because apparently there's quite a few of you who enjoy actually watching me podcast, which I find really interesting. I'm an animated person, but it's not like I'm doing anything that crazy. I mean, I have had episodes in money beds and bathtubs. I mean, so I guess that is true. That is not normal. We are okay over here. So you can apply by doing that. And this is to just make sure that you're absolutely a great fit. So don't apply just like to see how much it costs, or to check out my process, or to get some validation. Like that's not going to fly. Truly apply because you are wanting to get to where you're wanting to go in your business, whether you're starting from scratch or you're an established entrepreneur, and you're well aware of what the cost will be and the repercussions will be for you to not get the necessary help and guidance that you need. Okay. And you can always DM me on Instagram at ProjectMe with Tiffany if you have some specific questions. I can do my best to answer them. Sometimes my DMs get wackadoo and your stuff can get buried, and I do my best to get through them. So let's lay out the 2025 blueprint specifically for Instagram. This is not for other platforms. This is not for Facebook. It's not for LinkedIn, specifically for this platform. First things first, I want you to know that every platform is a different video game. That's all we're doing, is playing a game here. YouTube is its own game. And even though Meta owns both Facebook and Instagram, it's a different game. So all y'all that have been listening to these quote unquote guru people telling you to just repurpose your content, you're screwing yourselves. I'm not saying there isn't a time and place for some repurposing, but in general, it doesn't work because the crossover doesn't work. Someone's in a very different space psychologically of what they are looking for when they are scrolling TikTok versus YouTube versus LinkedIn versus Instagram versus Facebook versus X, okay, versus Snapchat. And you are as well. Just think about yourself and start recognizing your own behaviors. So when people are on Instagram, that platform has been around long enough. People get trained on what to expect. So yeah, there's some entertainment on there that they're expecting, but people know it's a platform to really learn and connect with businesses. right? Like that really is what it is. Like you're getting, maybe some motivational stuff, you're learning stuff about your health and improving in that area. You're learning about like certain like medical conditions and getting help in that area. But there's a significant right amount of ads. People are expecting to see businesses on that platform. And that's a great thing when you have a business. They're not turned off. You can be more direct on Instagram. You can be more like, listen, you need to sign up and register for my once a year free live training, 3 days to make bank online in your business. This is something I get paid $25,000 to teach to major corporations all over the globe, and I'm doing it for you for free. It's something I do once a year to give back to my fellow small business owners. And it's a New Year's gift to really get your business serving and scaling faster and cut out all the fluff. And it's 3 days live with me. It is limited seating because it's live. It's limited at 5,000 people. And you could go, oh my God, that's a lot of people. Well, we had 5,500 people sign up last year. So make sure you go sign up, projectmewithtiffany.com/make bank. The link is also in the show notes and here in the description on YouTube, and share it with people that you feel would find it helpful and that they want to monetize their gifts, skills, passions, talents online. Or you just want to pump up. You want to come and see, like, I want to see how this is done properly. This is the place to go. So this is true what I just said here. This wasn't from my ass. From my ass. This is an actual offer I have right now, but you can be as direct as I just was there on Instagram and not turn people off. I mean, if that's all you were giving people, no, but like you can share in your videos, you can share in your captions, especially in your Instagram stories, your direct offers to work with you, whether they are free or paid, because people are expecting that. They're not annoyed by it. Now, if that's all you did, that's a different story. So you have to have a balance on engaging, trust building, value content and straight up, this is what you can buy from me content. And I would say it's a 70-30 split. Okay, 70% nurturing, 30% selling. I know a lot of you get a rash from the word selling. You can replace it with whatever you want. Showcasing your offers, sharing your products, right? It's the same thing. It's all selling. I just know the word selling gets a bad rap. My signature program that I only launch once a year, Selling with Soul, the word selling's in there to help desensitize it for you. Like you can sell in a way that feels good to you and others, which is very important for you to have high profit, high converting content in Instagram. But if you are not consistently that 70-30 split, if you're ignoring that 30%, or like sometimes it's 10% of it, sometimes it's 15, you're not maxing on the 30, you are leaving a shit ton of money on the table. Because now it used to be like it takes people 7 to 9 times of them seeing something on Instagram from you, whether it's a product or a service or a retreat or whatever it is, for them to make a move and do something. That number's increased. It's more like 9 to 12. It could even be up to 15 because people are being more discerning. There needs to be more trust that's built because sadly, where there's money to be made, there's going to be scammers. Those of you who follow me, especially on TikTok at ProjectME TV, I have at least 50 accounts at all times mimicking me on because I'm not verified on there, which I don't understand why I'm not verified on there yet. I'm verified on Instagram, so it's a little less, but there's still 10, 15 accounts pretending to be me trying to sell you Bitcoin. All right. Like, so it's because there's money to be made. Anywhere there's money to be made in any industry, there's going to be scammers. So there's no way around it. Or people have now, because we've seen from these stats, right? This is a major 100 billion plus industry. you're going to end up where there's that you've bought something. Just like you've bought shit products before, makeup before, clothes before, shit you've ordered online where you're like, this was janky. I'd never buy it from them again. People have now experienced, not everybody, but a lot of people who have bought a course, who have bought a training, who have bought group coaching, a mastermind, private coaching, some kind of like a session online that you've enough people have paid somebody where they've been burned or they weren't who they say they were, right? So then when that happens, it can feel so personal, and then people can get a little jaded with it. And then it takes more time to build trust before they're going to buy from someone again, which is understandable, which is why I focus on teaching you my emotional based sales techniques so that you can learn how to connect to your ideal client and convey to them in a way that feels good to them, not convince them, but we're trying to connect so they know that we get them. That is your job. I get you, I get where you're at, and I have something to help you. And that's sales done properly. And if you're not doing that and you don't know how to do it, that needs to be the number one priority of what you're investing in. Because even taking away what I'm teaching you today on the blueprint for exploding your audience growth on Instagram, you will have the growth on Instagram, but you won't have the cash. They won't convert to cash. I can't tell you how many people come to me, influencers included, who have literally millions of subscribers, millions of followers. They've got all of that. You guys assume these people are making coin. A lot of them are not making coin. They don't understand how to do the 30%, or they're just like having their link in bio, like some affiliate offers, or they're like to know it. But like you make pennies on the dollar with that and nothing really that substantial. And so you have to know how to be able to connect, to build the trust, and then be able to lead them and guide them to buy from you, in a genuine way. And otherwise, you're just going to have an audience and not make the money. And let me tell you, that's really infuriating. I'd rather you be growing your audience while simultaneously getting that bag at the same time. Okay. Because if you don't have fresh cash flowing into your business consistently, you know what I say, my long term listeners, we do not have a business then. We have a jobby, a time, energy, and money sucking hobby. So here's story time. What I decided to do is part ways with having people on my team help me put out content specifically on Instagram. Okay. Not do it for me because obviously I'm in the content, I'm in the B-roll, I'm talking, you see me, but like putting it out, doing captions, all of that. I'm not saying I'm not grateful for where that was for a time being, but I had a strong gut feeling like, you know what? I bet you if I take this over and do this task, right? Like this is a high money generating thing. Like all my emails you get from me are written by me. I don't make them look pretty and I don't actually, I'm not the one who sends them out in our email software, but they're from me because these are my products. My content is my intellectual property. It would be like if I had a skincare line and I didn't want to touch and use and test every single product myself that my name is on. That's fucked up. Like that's stupid. That's not going to be a successful business. So we can forget that when it's digital stuff, right? Because it's not in our hand, but your content's your baby. So you can have people helping you with stuff and editing stuff and like that. But really, it's got to come from you. And you can have someone like me, like in working with me privately, we customize your profitable content plan and your messaging and your offers and your pricing and your passive income, all of that, right? Like the strategy behind it. But you need to be QCing your content. No one knows your people better than you. It's your job to connect with them. Whether you are the face of your brick and mortar business, you are the author behind the books, whether you are someone who is doing coaching or people hire you for medical services, right? It's you they have to trust. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this experiment. My Instagram account was stagnant. All right. Like I'm talking slow. And I know there's others of you listening that have been very frustrated with that yourself. And we've come at it in every way, but I didn't make any big moves. Okay. Part of it was I was afraid if I made a big shift, then I could lose maybe what I did have. And I was breadcrumbing myself, right? I was like holding on to the breadcrumbs I was getting on that app of growth. And you know, instead of like going for the whole loaf and making a big move. So I had to practice what I actually teach, right? Is like bold moves equal big cash. So I was like, I'm going to do it myself. It's not like I don't already know what I'm doing in terms of creating content. And I'm going to take more of an approach like I did on TikTok, which I blew up pretty fucking quickly and immediately and continue to grow and convert on there. And what people are craving now more than ever is just realness, and they are tired of hearing all the same people saying all the same stuff in all the same way, and the fantasy marketers and everything all like glammed up and pretty. I will say people have been trained on Instagram to like that more editorial look. So I'm not saying to go on there and be like, not have any of that, but you need to infuse a different messaging, right? You need to unfilter your messaging on there. You can use filters, okay, and have your video look pretty and all that on Instagram. In fact, I would want you to. But then I need you to unfilter your message. A lot of you watch a lot of people in your own niche. And yes, I say niche because it rhymes with rich, okay? And so then you start, without realizing it, talking like them. You keep yourself in a box and how you talk about things. And then it kind of feels safe to you because, well, all these people do this in my industry. So it feels less risky. I need you to throw that all out. If you want to stand out and you want to grab someone's attention, you have got to be the one that is different in your space. There's got to be something different about you. And it could be your look, it could be your age, it can be your personality, it can be all of the above. It could be what you stand for and what you don't. I mean, I'm sure you have your thoughts about probably why you're here and listening and why you come to me and you enjoy my show and following me on my channels and being in my ProjectME Posse business coaching membership, working with me in a variety of ways. I am a little bit gangster. I'm rich as fuck. I share the receipts. I call out the bullshit. I'm raw, I'm real, I'm unwell in the mind, and I don't hide that. And I do my best to like make this fun. Because if we're not having fun, then what is the point of starting and growing a business and monetizing your skills and intellectual property online? Like, money's not going to be enough. Yeah, we like money, but at a certain point, you won't keep going if it's not fun. If it feels so heavy, then you might as well stay with the jobby job life? And so, what is it about you? And you need to sit there and really write about it and think about it if you're not like working with me to coach you through it and dig at it because you have a different angle. You have a unique approach. You have a style that's different. Maybe it's simply that you are not the, so to speak, influencer in your category. You're not the beauty influencer person. You're more of someone who has like a realistic approach to beauty or whatever your industry is. But you've got to stand for something. You can't blend in, which is going to feel safer to you. A lot of you can think you're being unfiltered. And I'm telling you, if you are not having growth, there is a filter going on there that of self-protection that you're not aware of. So when I came into doing this starting January 1, 2025. I said to myself, I'm already an unfiltered person, but we're going to next level ZFG. Zero fucks given. There's always different levels of it where I was going to be more clear on my stance on things. I don't even mean like political controversial topics, right? I'm talking about within my industry and just being more emphatic in how I share about it, even being more edgy. Because if I'm being honest, there's many things in my drafts. It'd be amazing if those were all released. I might get canceled. Where like what's in your drafts is the you that I need to see in 2025 on Instagram. That's what has made me so popular on TikTok. I felt safer for some reason to be so unhinged on there because there's so many other people who are unhinged, and you don't get a bunch of hate. I mean, I do have some on TikTok, but like the people of TikTok, they comment on your stuff, they support your stuff, they repost it. I find it fascinating how many people avoid commenting on other people's stuff on Instagram, avoid liking it, sharing it, reposting it. I'll have these amazing things that I teach on there, and I can see how many saves there are. There'll be hundreds of saves, but almost no comments. And it's like, isn't that interesting? Like to not engage in people's stuff. So that leads me to my next thing. Whatever you're wanting more engagement, you have to engage. And I don't mean like you have to engage in like some chat body way, but you have got to energetically, you have to be engaging in digital handshaking with your community, with people who might like your community. Like, this is how you grow a business, like out in the world, right? You have to like network and have coffee dates and go to conferences and shit. You get to do this from your pajamas at home. Like, should be enjoyable to you to do it. You're saying you don't want to take time to digitally handshake and engage and get to know and have two-way conversations in your DMs and Instagram stories with your people and potential clients in your community, then you don't really want to do this. Then you're not really maybe even going after the right niche. Maybe you are going after what you think you should do versus what you really want to do. And people can feel that. So you're going to be the draft version of yourself. So I'm going to recap some of the things for my fellow ADHD brain people. You are going to do that. What would be in my drafts? Where do I go? Ooh, I maybe should back off a little bit and share this version versus that version. No, you're sharing that version. So I'm only doing one take, maximum two takes on any of my videos. Preferably one, unless like something happens where like my brain disappears, or I don't know, like I trip and fall. Even if I tripped and fell, I would include that in there. That would make it interesting. Okay. Even if it looks janky, even if the phone falls, pick it back up and keep going. Like, people want to see, not like they want to see more of your faults, but they want to see more of like the juxtaposition. Tiffany is a multimillionaire. Tiffany makes more and works less. Tiffany gives EFGs, but let's also see Tiffany having a hard day. Like, where are the different layers of my personality and emotion? What does Tiffany do when she's having a hard week? What does Tiffany do when the revenue's down in her business? What does Tiffany do when she's had haters come for her? She's had someone who was crazy. How does she handle betrayal? And not saying like you have to show all this like negative stuff, but what I mean is trust and intimacy is built, especially like on that platform, by people seeing different layers of you. It's no different than in real life. And so challenge yourself to show other layers. Here's the other key strategic thing. I need you to do this. God, I hate saying a 50-50 split, but I'm going to say it because I don't love saying it, because if you take me literally and you don't invest time, energy, and money in truly learning how to sell your offers and showcase them in messaging, you're not going to make much money. Okay, so that's my like warning disclaimer in there. I need you to change it like I did to a 50-50 split. Focus 50% on your content, on like truly converting your people into taking another step and leaning in and trusting you more, and then 50% on your content on shares. You want shares on audience growth, on casting a wider net to your people, on content that's highly relatable, on viral content. And that split is absolutely, along with the other things I shared today, what surged my growth to 800%. Before, what I was doing, just so you have context, is it was about, honestly, at the most 20% of audience growth, casting the net, having the new, fresh strangers coming into my account. I kept mining my current people, right? Because here I'm monetizing, I'm making all the money, but my account was growing so slowly. And I was like, we need to adjust the so called pie chart, because if I pull back on the nurturing and the building of the trust, that kind of content, and I increase the audience growth, when you actually do the math, you'll end up making more money and having a larger audience, which is exactly what's happening. Now, I do want to give you a cautionary tale of, don't go so far out of your realm of what you talk about, right? Like, for example, if I went on some whole dating tangent or something and started talking about like dating and relationships in my content, that doesn't mean I wouldn't have pieces of content that would go viral with strangers that don't know me. But those aren't people I necessarily want in my audience, because I don't help them with that. In fact, you do not want to hire me for that. You know, relationships within your business and with your clients, yes. But relationships of intimate nature, you are not hiring me. Okay. I wouldn't hire myself. So I do want you to keep that in mind, as like, don't just go for the virality without having intentional strategy behind it. So I recently went mega viral, sharing a video about like stereotypes about Los Angeles and like it going against that. That truly that has nothing to do with my business, right? But a lot of people in Los Angeles want their own business, have their own business, want to monetize their gift, skills, passions, and talents online. So it went viral, and there was no way that there wouldn't be a percentage of those people who would then look at my bio to see who the hell I am. It's very clear what I do, and going, huh, okay. Like, she caught me with this and got my attention with this, but I want to learn how to do this. Oh, I have a business. Okay, I'll follow this bitch. Do you see what I'm saying? So just be more intentional with going viral and sharing relatable stuff. Don't just go for the low hanging fruit, or you'll end up with an audience of low hanging fruit and people that don't buy from you. So you're going to do that split, that 50-50 split of doing that and unleashing yourself and allowing yourself to really think outside the box with your content. But it's an energetic thing as well. I'm giving you strategy stuff, but it's truly both. You have to be at a point where you're like, you know what? This is growing so slow. I don't like this. And you have to be at a fuck it moment. And that's where I was. I was like, we've got to like turn everything upside down, which is what happens in big businesses as well. When sales are stagnant, when stuff isn't working, the leads are down, it's like, okay, something's off. We either need to hire a new team, to have people come in. Who can we hire to, change what's going on over here? We need to make some clear changes in what's happening. We need to have a strategy change. We need to have a reorganization. We need to regroup. This is the stuff that happens literally in all successful businesses. You're simply applying it to your own small business or your own organization. And it's not any offense to anyone who works for you on that team or even in how you were doing something. It's that it's time for change because you're playing a video game on these platforms. And what people once wanted or once liked, they're now sick of it. Okay. So whatever you're sick of, your ideal client's sick of too. What are you craving? What do you want to see on your Instagram feed? What would make you scroll on Instagram? What would make you share a piece of content on Instagram? Start psychoanalyzing your own behaviors, and now you're going to create content like that for your people, and you're going to see what happens. Don't get stuck on the hashtags. I don't want you getting obsessed with that. So, like, don't go down a whole path on that. Your hashtag should match what your content topic is. Like, don't put hashtags that have nothing to do with what your content is talking about. I want you to focus on keywords and phrases that piece of content is talking about. So, if you're doing a piece of content on, let's say it's something about anxiety, then I need you to have the word anxiety in your hook line on the screen. I need you to have the word anxiety in your caption. I need you to have anxiety hashtags. So you just want all those to match. So pick your keyword or key phrase for that piece of content and make sure deliberately there's something on the screen in that video or in that carousel or in that graphic. There's something using that in your caption and in your hashtag. So now you've covered all bases. This helps the algorithm stamp that piece of content as this is anxiety content. And we push out anxiety content to these people. Oh, this is content on entrepreneurship and making money online. Okay, we push it to these people. You see what I'm saying? So follow this blueprint. But most importantly, if you took nothing else away from this, share the draft version of yourself. Stop following other people in your industry. I mean, you don't have to like unfollow them, but like deliberately look at people and other interests of yours in other industries because you can really get caught in a rut and you don't even realize it. And create the content that you delight in consuming. And what do you love? And you're like, oh, I love Get Ready With Me's, or I love seeing behind the scenes. And how does that apply to my business? Well, yes, ask yourself, how can I apply this style of content to my business? I helped a realtor go viral over and over again and get tons of listings and leads because the kind of content she loved was why she fell in love with me, was all my dancing and that like, I'm just outlandish, but I'm also teaching very valuable stuff, but in a fun way. And she was like, how could I possibly apply that to something as like serious as real estate and people's most important purchase and like serious purchase? I go, no, this is why they're going to love you and why they're going to watch it and why you're going to get their attention. And if that is the content you like to consume, let's create it. And so now she is known for this. Like my dancing realtor, like she's known for that thing. And it's also it's genuine to her. She loves doing that and it captures and keeps people's attention and it builds trust because you're seeing someone doing something that lights them up, that delights them. It's something that's different. It's not the same person giving you a walkthrough of a house or sitting there next to a for sale sign and the same old shit, right? It's like you're being an actual real person and you're being vulnerable enough to show your quirky and silly side. That's what makes people fall in love with you. And you're the brand or you're the representative of the brand. You're the human attached to your brand. So if you don't give people an opportunity to fall in love with all these beautiful facets and things about you, how could you possibly expect them to lean into your content and your company enough to then buy from you? You know, it's like you're actually being guarded with your content, whether it's intentional or not. The reason you guys feel safe with me, the reason you buy from me is because everyone says to me, I feel like I already know you. Guess what? You fucking do. I am this crazy. This is not this is not filtered. This is real. Like in fact, it's only confirmed like when people come to like my mastermind live events or when they start coaching with me privately. You know, I think people have lost trust in a lot of people online, especially like in the coaching education world. Like, oh, this person isn't going to be the same person, like, you know, off social media or off their podcast as they are on. And let me tell you, a lot of these people are not the same. Like, most of them are not the same. Just fun fact. I have been shook by this before. But there are people who absolutely are the same, thank God. And I'm one of them. But it's my best compliment, and they laugh and they'll go, "Oh my God, like you are literally the same." And they almost can't believe it because, like, wow, that is really you. Like, you're really that vulnerable. That's not an act, it's not a bit. Like, you're really this unwell. And I'm like, yes, how many times do I have to tell you guys? Like, this is true. Like, you get to be like this and incredibly successful and so helpful in what you do. It doesn't take away from people respecting you or wanting to buy from you when they see these other sides of you. In fact, it makes them only want to buy from you more. It's the opposite of what that inner bully in your brain is telling you. So we make big moves in 2025, regardless of fear, regardless of all the noise going on in our mind, regardless of what external factors are showing us. We feel the fear and we fucking persevere because that's where your success is guaranteed. And we figure out a way to make it happen. When you want the results that you want, you got to figure out a way to make it happen. Just like I asked you that question in the beginning of this episode, you know that there's someone who's going to show you the exact way, and all you have to do is follow through with it and show up, and your success is inevitable. Like, why wouldn't you invest your time, energy, and money in doing it? Like, it doesn't even make sense. Of course you would. Like, you even do this mathematically, it makes sense. Like, make a pros and cons list. I just shared this in my Posse membership. But like, take a piece of paper and on the left side put risk of doing it, and on the right side put the cost of not doing it, and make a pros and cons list, and it'll be very clear for you. And you can apply that to any area of your life, but you can apply it to working with me. You can apply it to whatever area of your business, the risk of doing it, the cost of not doing it. So my applications are open for a short period of time for my private 2-month business coaching program. You can swipe up. That application is inside the show notes in the description on YouTube. Also, to sign up for 3 days to make bank online, 3 days live with me. That is also in the show notes, but you can go to projectmewithtiffany.com/make bank and make sure you register right away. Because like I said, we do have to cap that. And let's fucking go, baby, because we're going to make this happen. January threw us all for a loop. Well, so what? January doesn't dictate what happens the rest of the year. 1 or even 2 months or even 3 months of a year don't dictate what's available and what abundance is happening for us the rest of the year. This was a month that we were being recalibrated and had to build a resilience muscle, let go of certain people, places, and things in order to prime us for the big abundance, that big timeline jump that I know is absolutely in store for all of us. I can feel it in my damn bones, and I'm never wrong when I say that. I'm wrong about other things, but that I'm not wrong for when I have this level of a feeling about it. And I already gave you the stats. You already have the numbers. There's billions of dollars to be made online. All you need is a micro fraction of that, like 0.000007, in order for you to even make $1 million. Like, literally, the maths. It's a matter of what you're going to do about it. All right. Wishing you great health, wealth, and worth as always. Love you.